It's all about lust. I don't want you to think I'm some kind of like dirty old man. It's about catalyzing lust. Yeah.
How important would you say your MBA was in your career, and then what did you study at Stanford for your?
First of all, how many of you are in the MBA program? Before I answer this question. Stanford MBA?
And then also, like,
first of all, I didn't get into the Stanford MBA program. This is just FYI. I can okay, so I'm 59 years old, right? So when I was in the MBA program, it was like before you were born. It was 1977, 8, 9, that time frame. 1977, 8, 9, MBA was a fence you jumped over because it was required by companies to get in. So if you wanted to work for a consulting firm or a bank or whatever, you had to get an MBA. That was just the way it is. Okay? That is no longer true today. If you're asking me, do you need an MBA to be a technology entrepreneur? I will tell you the answer is no. Do you need an MBA to get into a technology company? I will also tell you that the answer is no. For a technology startup, I could almost make the case that an MBA might be a negative, because many of these engineering companies would say, why would this person waste 2 years of his or her life getting an MBA when they could be an entrepreneur? They might not ask you that to your face, but they would be thinking that, okay? So now this is not to say you should not get an MBA. I mean, maybe you want to work for Goldman Sachs, maybe you want to work for McKinsey, you know, maybe you want to work for Bain or BCG, hallelujah, you have to get an MBA. But 2 guys, 2 gals in a garage, 2 people taking, you know, computer science here, are they going to ask you if you have an MBA before they determine if they want you for the next social media startup? Probably not. Probably not. Yes?
All right, so earlier you discussed you should seek making meaning as opposed to making money.
Yeah.
And you've also discussed catalyzing lust.
Yeah.
Startups such as Snapchat catalyze lust in the most literal way. From what
At least for 6 seconds, yeah.
So my question is, I'm just interested in kind of your approach to this. If before any of us knew what Snapchat was, if a company like that were to pitch to you, what would you think? Because to me that seems like more like making money than making meaning.
If Snapchat had pitched me early, I would have told them they're nuts.
Okay.
That, you know, Snapchat is the one where it lasts for 6 seconds, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, just to make sure I'm talking about the right thing. So my first reaction to that would be, okay, so your key differentiating selling point is the thing only lasts for 6 seconds. But it seems to me in 6 seconds, anybody could take a screenshot. So once you take a screenshot, 6 seconds it's irrelevant. It lasts forever, right? So what's the advantage of a 6-second thing, or you know, like with Vine, what's the advantage of a 6-second video? You know, maybe I'm too old, but I would have a hard time wrapping my mind around that, right? Okay, so then I would take the tall, white, old venture capitalist approach. So what's your background? You know, do you have a proven track record? Did you work for Microsoft? You know, do you have an MBA? But so fast forward, now if you're Snapchat, you show up and you say, wow, 30 million registered users. Every minute, 5,000 pictures are uploaded at Snapchat. We are growing faster than Twitter, Google+, Facebook, Instagram, or Pinterest. We dominate young people. Ask your grandson, who's 16, 17, 18. Ask your granddaughter, are they using Twitter? Are they using Facebook? Or are they using Snapchat? Because they're going to tell you they use Snapchat. Okay, so despite my intellectual argument about why Snapchat doesn't matter because people can take screenshots, you have catalyzed lust. Because if you're telling me that there are 5,000 pictures being uploaded every minute, and all my grandchildren are being using Snapchat, not Facebook, I'm lusting. You worked. It worked. You catalyzed lust. So I'm telling you, figure out how to catalyze lust. I'm not telling you to lie, okay? I'm telling you, figure out how you can catalyze lust. And of course, you know, the way catalyzing lust really works is you have to have a good reality, right? I mean, you can't suck and catalyze lust. So you have to have a good reality, which is 5,000 pictures are being uploaded every minute. But there are 25 million users that, you know, your grandchildren are using Snapchat. They're not using Facebook anymore. So I'm not saying you should lie. I'm saying that you should catalyze lust based on reality. Okay? Yes.
So I like kind of going back to the whole idea of like money and like business and kind of like coming up with a plan. Like if we like revisit kind of like Google and like when they were developing their search engine, there were countless other search engines that existed at the time that
5
actually,
or 6. Yeah.
I mean, there were other. I mean, they
Absolutely.
were doing it faster, but they were able to monetize the search engine, which allowed them to grow as a company. So in that sense, like how do you? So like yes, they were looking to make meaning, but then how do you integrate that with the idea of a business plan and actually making your idea something that's scalable? And
So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should make meaning and purposely not make money. Okay, because you heard wrong. You heard that.
No.
I'm saying that the core is that if you do make meaning, if you truly do make people's lives better, there's probably a way you can monetize it. Really. You will figure out a way. I mean, Snapchat, who's I don't know, I'm making up numbers, I don't know, they're gaining 100,000 users a day. Trust me, they will figure out a way to monetize that. There will be promoted Snapchat ads. I mean, there will be something. You know, in a sense, when you show up to a venture capitalist, and I hope you never have to, but if you have to, you need to show up with one of two things happening, which is either you have a prototype and the dogs are eating the food, right? And so that's the given. And there are two permutations of that. One permutation is that you did this total bootstrap and now you're using Google AdSense and you're making $5,000 a month. So you're kind of breaking even. Just you and your buddy created this product that you wanted to use. To your utter amazement, the dogs are eating your food. You're using Google AdSense, not optimized, no direct sales force, no nothing. And you're making 5, 10 grand a month, you're breaking even. Venture capitalists, the investor hears that and say, wow, scrappy people. You know, they figured out a way to monetize this and they're clueless. They're clueless. It's 2 guys in the garage, 2 gals in the garage, you know, whatever. They're 20 years old, they're clueless. And they have figured out a way to break even. I like this team. That's investable company 1. Investable company 2 is we're losing $10,000 a month, but we are signing up 10,000 people a day. So we are losing a ton of money, but the dogs are eating the food so fast we can barely control it. We need some adult supervision to help us figure out how to monetize that. That is also a high quality problem. Okay? The problem is that most companies show up and they say, nobody's eating the dog food, and we're spending $10,000 a month. That's the problem. That's the corner you don't want to be in. Okay? Yes?
To extend your metaphor,
Be careful extending my
one of the
metaphor.
problems with lust is that it can fade, and it can fade quickly and unexpectedly when you're not anticipating it.
Yeah.
And so one question I have is, how do you, when you see something that could just be a fad, right? So let's say you have something that for the time being is wildly popular among high school students.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's going to last only until the next cool thing comes along, and then they've dropped your product and they can't be bothered with it anymore. So when you're trying to catalyze lust, when what you're really probably hopefully going for is a stable, long-term, loving relationship.
More like eHarmony?
Right. How do you ensure that as you're trying to sort of
Well-
stoke this, that you're separating, you're not mistaking something that is only going to be, you know, like a summer romance for, you know, a long-term relationship?
Well, first of all, I am saying that you need to catalyze lust based on reality.
But I guess,
Right.
like to clarify, how do you know if, because you might think that what you have is reality. I guess it's like on both ends, both the people developing the product and the people you're selling it to may think that you have something real
Absolutely.
there, but you could easily be deluding yourself. So what do you particularly look for as
Well,
a warning sign?
honestly, to be an entrepreneur, you have to delude yourself. I mean, it kind of comes with the territory. Because being an entrepreneur is not rational, right? Because it's high risk. 99 out of 100 fail. And so you do need to catalyze lust. You do need to base it on reality. But you are absolutely right. The lust could fade. It could be a flash in the pan. My logic there is no guts, no glory. You know, I wish I could give you this real, like, better answer. But in a sense, it is kind of a, you know, you take your best shot, you shoot the moon, and you hope it lasts. I think that is the reality of the situation. I would be lying to you if I told you. And you know, to use another analogy, some people escape the gravitational pull of the Earth, and some people don't. But at least you need to build a rocket to try. Yes.
So, like, you've been around a lot of startups and advised entrepreneurs in your career. Like, so I'm assuming, like, if you've fallen in love with them and you believe in them, is there any common mistakes that you see with entrepreneurs that you actually have to look at them again and go, like, I don't love you anymore? I mean, is there anything that you see like entrepreneurs when they change, when they grow?
Well, I'll give you some things that would irritate, you know, people. So first of all, it's classic mistakes is what you're asking. So classic mistake number one is that you scale too fast. So you do this extrapolation, and so here's how the thinking goes. So first of all, you believe in your heart that you have rock star programmers, right? The statistic, I mean, the probability that the people you got drunk with that weekend who co-founded the company with you are also rock stars is low. But, you know, you figure, well, they got into Stanford, I got into Stanford, we must all be rock stars. Okay, so you got rock star programmers. So these rock star programmers, for the first time in the history of man, are going to ship on time. Okay? And so you think, well, the worst thing we can do as a company is to disappoint our customers. And so since my partner, frat brother, CTO, who was drunk with me that weekend when we came up with this idea, is a rock star, he's going to ship on time. We don't want to disappoint customers. We need to build an infrastructure. We need customer service. We need sales, because we don't want to disappoint our customers. So you build an infrastructure. You may even get money to build an infrastructure. So you hire customer service. You hire people with, you know, who drive BMWs with cornflower blue shirts with pierced ears, and they're going to be your biz dev people, right? So you got the whole thing. You know, you just got everything going. You're going to all the cocktail parties. You drink your white wine. And you like everything, right? Okay. And guess what? Come to find out, your frat brother is not a rock star. He's a piece of crap. He doesn't know anything about programming. So he's late. His software is shit. And now you still got the overhead, right? Because your rock star was going to deliver, but he didn't deliver. That's mistake number one. That, you know, you're so confident that you're going to get. You know, how hard could it be? Here's the analysis that goes. I'll give you an analysis of hypothetical selling pet food online. Okay? 300 million Americans. 1 in 4 owns a dog. 75 million dogs. Each dog eats 2 cans of dog food per day. 150 million cans of dog food per day. And this is not B2B. This is B2C, or really it's B2D. But you know, so this is like 365 days a year, 75 million dogs eat 2 cans of dog food per day. 150 million cans of dog food per day times 365. Total addressable market. With my rock star frat brother CTO, how hard could it be to get just 1% of that 1.5 million per day? So that's 1.5 million cans of dog food per day. Worst case, if you totally freaking blow it, worst case. 1.5 million cans of dog food per day, let's say you make 25 cents per can. It's like 300-400 grand a day, 300-400 grand a day times 365 days. It's like $150 million company. Worst case with my rockstar CTO frat brother. Okay. And guess what? Your frat brother is late. And the dogs don't eat the food, no pun intended. They literally don't eat the food. But you have this infrastructure, you have all these things. So that's mistake number one. That's mistake number one. Mistake number two, I think, is that you believe that you need to, well, you have a hard time distinguishing between causation and correlation. So the primary example of this is in the Valley is you go to the movie about Google, The Intern, right? And also you know people at Google, or this class goes on a field trip and you go to Google. And you go to Google and you see, wow, freaking, man, this is like heaven. It's like they got the sand volleyball, they got the free food, they got the foosball, the ping pong, the pool table. They got everything, massages, washing machines, everything. They go on off sites and you say, okay, so that's what causes Google's success. So you take your venture capital money and you buy the foosball table and you hire a chef, right? And you have these off-sites in Thailand and South Africa because you need to build your camaraderie, right? You play ping pong and you give people massages and you wash your laundry free, and you have haircuts on. The van comes and gives dental treatment in your parking lot because you're rock star programmers, you're so valuable, you don't want them going off to dentists and all that. Because you, at one point in your life, you went to Google and you saw, this is how Google does it. That causes Google's success. That's what we're going to do. Let me tell you something. You could take a piece of shit company and buy them ping pong tables, foosballs. You could give them free sushi. You could give them massages, wash your clothes, and it will still be a piece of shit company. Okay? So correlation is not the same as causation. And I think many entrepreneurs, they look at stuff like that and say, aha, that's what they do. That's what we got to do. That's what will make us successful. It's a big problem. All of this is about wasting money. So I think the much better philosophy is basically you eat what you kill. And by that I mean, if you eat what you kill, you do not hire customer service people because you haven't killed anything yet, so you cannot eat it. So once in my career, I would love for a company to come to me and say, you cannot handle the level of tech support and the volume of people we need to onboard. We just simply cannot handle it. We have too much action. I've never had that happen to me in my life. Once in my life, I would like that to be the problem. Most of my life is my rock star frat brother CTO said he would finish in June, and it's now December, and he's not finished yet. And meanwhile, we hired all these tech support people, and we're burning through money. And the first round of this, what you're going to say is, but we've invested so much time training into our rock star customer service people. It would be a shame if we fired them now, because in 3 months, when my rock star frat brother CTO says he really will ship this time, it would be a shame if 3 months from now we have to start all over and hire more rock star customer service people. Well, then 3 months go by and your rock star frat brother CTO still hasn't shipped. And so now the question becomes, what do you do with these people? So the sort of overarching recommendation is, don't hire people until you really are totally sure you need them. Okay?